and gentlemen. So today we're going to talk about something that is really overlooked often, especially with my high performing professionals, all of you, my business owners, my parents, my executive, my directors, my managers, my folks that are working hard, my professionals that are constantly moving throughout the day. Today, when it comes to fat loss, right, we're going to talk about hormones and the direct correlation with it. We're not going to talk about calories first. We're not going to talk about cardio first. We're not even going to talk about workout first. We're going to put hormones first because your energy and your hormones, your mood, stability, your sleep quality, and your ability to burn stored fat, the fat that's right on you, right? Your ability to build muscle and even your decision making clarity. When you wake up in the morning time, you feel clear and not still tired, right? All of these things are all hormonally regulated processes, right? So when hormones are stable in your life, your physiology, your body type, it will work for you. When you are dysregulated, dysfunctional, it feels like your body is working against you no matter how many times you go to the gym, no matter how much good food you eat, no matter how many walks, steps, and things you take, right? Most of my supreme warriors, my busy professionals, when they first come in, right, are overweight because they have a few hormonal issues. It's not because they lack intelligence. It's not because you are tired because you're weak, right? You are craving sugars or you may be craving salt. There's different issues, right? And you're living in a chronic hormonal dysregulation. You're getting constant headaches. You are getting migraines. You're getting a lot of issues. There's a lot of stress that's also associated with your life. Poor sleep. Many of you are staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning time on a regular basis. Poor sleep, inconsistent meal timing. Many of you are snacking, eating those Cheez-Its that are so delicious. Under eating your protein, not getting enough because you're eating an overabundance of processed carbohydrates and you're over relying on caffeine and under stimulating muscle tissue. This is what starts high levels of cortisol that are inside of your body, right? Cortisol, what is that? Cortisol is produced by your adrenaline glands and it follows a natural rhythm, right? And it should be highest in the morning time when you wake up and gradually going down at nighttime, and it allows you to sleep. When you wake up in the morning time, you get deeper levels of cortisol. Hey, wake up, right? Time to go to work. The problem is many of you have high cortisol throughout the day. Even when you're sleeping, your heart is still beating fast, 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 and you can't go to sleep at nighttime. This is what keeps you up, and you're snacking. You're constantly not even digesting properly enough food. There's no reset. This problem occurs when cortisol remains elevated throughout the day. Again, I'm going to say that because that's really important to know. Cortisol stays without you throughout the entire day. Right? So that becomes chronic and it becomes psychological stress, excessive workloads, and lack of boundaries. Notice how when we take a vacation and we just feel real relaxed, and many of the times we're like, we have headaches when we're in the airport, we're tired because we kind of been up, we're traveling, we're maybe going to a different time zone, and then you go to the hotel, you're kind of foggy at nighttime, and then you go to sleep, and then the next day you wake up And it's like, because you slept maybe about 3, 4 more hours outside of your regular time, you may have woke up around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Not my wife though; she'll just wake up at 5 every time. Doesn't matter where we go, what island we go to. She's waking up at 5. Doesn't matter. I'll just wake up. We're over here. Oh, who's over here blowing me up? So when we talk, right? Cortisol levels, it stays elevated throughout your body, right? And it increases your blood glucose. And this increases your abdominal fat storage. And this increases cravings for quick energy. And this is what disrupts your sleep. So over time, chronically, elevated cortisol levels will contribute to insulin resistance, which many of you have, and also muscle breakdown. And then I get people that want to take different type of weight loss drugs, which furthers the problem because they don't understand that weight loss is all about leaning and creating lean muscle, right? So it's all about creating lean muscle, right? It's creating lean muscle, not just regular muscle, right? So muscle carries fat around it, lean muscle doesn't. Many of us are in our fat burning zone, and we have to understand that when we're building up lean muscle, there is a science to it, but you have to be on point all day. And when you are on point, you'll see a total difference. And this is what we want to strive for, right? So, getting out of that insulin resistance where our bodies are in pure fat storage mode, that's what we want to work on. So, let's talk about insulin because that's another hormone, right? Insulin is not the enemy. Insulin is a transportation center for hormones. Its job is to regulate regular blood sugar by moving your glucose from your bloodstream into your cells. What I mean by that is you eat a hamburger, a salad, it goes into your stomach, your body breaks it down, and from your stomach, this is what's created glucose. Insulin comes from your pancreas and it guides it to your liver, which further produces glucose. Whatever can be used right then and there as energy gets utilized and gets stored as glycogen, and glycogen gets stored as fat if we're not using it. If we are just, I mean, some of us, if we're active, if we're working out in the evening time and we walk in the morning time for about 30 minutes throughout the day, then we'll see a total difference in our insulin resistance. And you can tell with certain people, right? Resistance training and strength training and building up healthy muscle tissue, insulin will work efficiently because in the absence of muscle stimulus and in the presence of constant carbohydrate grazing, right, insulin remains elevated for long periods of time, and we don't want that. When insulin levels remains elevated, lipolysis, which we were talking about last week, which is the breakdown of stored fat, is reduced. So the more insulin you have in your system, the more elevated you are, you will not produce lipolysis. And that's the issue with most people. So what we want to do to figure out, what are we doing? So what we want to do is we want to figure out how that actually works, right? How do we get our bodies into lipolysis? Because that's what we were talking about before, right? You can't effectively burn stored fat when your insulin levels are signaling to store it as fat. Your frequency of eating and the quality of food you're eating, and also the pairing of your macronutrients and the presence of your lean muscle mass tissue all influence how insulin will behave inside of your body. The type of carbohydrates, I'm going to say that again, the type of carbs you're putting in your body, and I'm talking about processed carbs. I'm talking about your potatoes. I'm talking about your chips. I'm talking about your Doritos, right? Versus vegetables, fruits, whole nuts, lentils, the right macros, high proteins, your lean cut chicken or beef or whatever you eat. And also having muscle mass, real lean muscle, not just muscle, but lean muscle mass. This will all have an influence on how insulin will react inside of your body. Now, the next thing is ghrelin and leptin. This is what the weight loss drugs manipulate. This is what the procedure when they rip out your stomach and only give you about 6 ounces of food to intake. All of this is to affect ghrelin and leptin. But guess what, guys? You don't need a drug and you don't need a procedure to control your ghrelin and leptin. I don't care what anybody says. Please battle me. Hit me up at info@supremebodytraining.com if you want to debate. Send your best doctor, send whoever your best scholar is. I will rip him to shreds or her. Leptin and ghrelin is a hunger hormone, and it is triggered by emotional weakness, and it is a hormonal communication between your body and your brain, and it signals when you are hungry. This is your ghrelin. It's like, hey man, I'm hungry. It rises in anticipation of food, and it starts with your nose. It smells. As soon as you smell good food, that's when your ghrelin, your hunger hormone, is stimulated. It's active. Your body, your stomach will start to anticipate by creating certain types of gastric juices, which will then deploy, and that's when you feel your stomach kind of grumbling. That's the anticipation of food. Then the second stage of the process of digestion is your saliva. Because once it hits your saliva can send certain messages while it's chewing. Hey, we're eating chicken. Use this particular enzyme to break this down. Our body uses different types of gastric juices and fluid to break down every single particular kind of food. This is why it's so important not to drink while you eat. Because when you drink, when you eat, you dilute your actual digestive process. Because now you're confusing your body on what you're actually eating. Because you're in such a rush to eat. You should never drink while you eat. Right? So also, if you snack every afternoon at 3 o'clock, your ghrelin will spike at 3 o'clock. Whether you need energy or not, if it's how you train your body in that anticipation. If you eat late night consistently, ghrelin will adapt to that expected rhythm. And then around 8 o'clock, it will put you in a choke. This is why structured meal timing stabilizes hunger cues. This is why I've been working so hard for my Supreme Warriors to get you at a decent time of finishing eating. I've been telling you guys to stop your carbohydrates at 3. Breon, we never even had that talk. Stop your carbs at 3. Stop carbohydrates at 3 p.m. And your last meal, meaning your protein, should be around 5 to 6. Ghrelin is also influenced by sleep. Sleep deprivation increases high levels of ghrelin, and it will keep you up and it will make you eat more, which is one reason why people crave more calories when they're tired, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about, because we did a little deep dive on a ghrelin, now we're going to talk about leptin, which is the satiated hormone. This is produced by fat cells, and communication is key in understanding this because leptin communicates with your brain, your hypothalamus, right? That sufficient energy is stored. Hey, we got it. We're full. So in health and in physiology, leptin rises after eating and reduces hunger. However, in individuals that are carrying excess body fat for extended periods of time, leptin resistance can develop. That means leptin is present, but the brain does not respond appropriately to it. That means you can be eating, and not know when you're hungry. I'm sorry, not know when you're satisfied. Sleep deprivation can trigger inflammation, meaning you're feeling swollen every time you finish eating, you feel bloated, you feel gassy, and chronic stress all impair leptin signaling. This also comes from having a bad job as well. When you work in a stressful environment, this can signal all of these things. Everything can just go out of whack. When you have a bad job, man, listen, it's nothing in a world that you can do to get out of there until you're done with that job. It's nothing like having a job that you can't rely on, having a job that's not secure, having a job where they could just say, "Hey, this person called out. You gotta stay behind." Like messes up your plans and everything. There's no lack of like organizational skills at the top because they're constantly churning, meaning they're constantly turning over employees. Employees are leaving. So we have to work on ourselves, getting back to leptin. We have and we need a transition into something most people miss when they're discussing hormones. We have to transition into this thing, and that is lean muscle mass. So we talked about hormones, so let's talk about muscle tissue, right? So when we talk about muscle tissue, it's not a cosmetic thing, right? It's an active tissue, right? Lean muscle influences hormone balance directly, right? Through glycogen also, right? So when you perform your strength training, your resistance training, coming to the hit training, doing the classes, right? On the app, because many of our clients are on the app in different countries, different states. Yes, different countries. Supreme Body University, we're in the App Store and we're in all major countries as well. So exercising and doing resistance training, when you perform these things, right, several things happen hormonally. You increase your insulin sensitivity. That means the same amount of carbs produce a more controlled blood sugar response inside of your body, which means you stimulate the release of growth hormones and testosterone, right? Both of which support tissue repair. This is why having lean muscle mass is so important, right? So, fat metabolism and your metabolic health, this increases your glucose uptake and it goes into your muscle cells, and your body utilizes this as energy because when you work out, we're not building up muscle right then and there, we're tearing it down. So the food you eat goes to repairing your muscles, and this is why you feel the soreness the next day. This is why lean muscle mass is very important, and having the right type of workout plan to build and maintain lean muscle mass is also important as well. Muscle, right, is it has fat around it. We want lean muscle. Lean muscle increases your resting metabolic rate as well. That means you burn calories at rest. That means when you eat, you don't have to have the fear of it going to your stomach. Your body will utilize that food and it will burn it. It will utilize it and it will eat it and it won't store its fat. This is not just about calories burned when you're exercising. It's about the metabolic flexibility that lean muscle provides you. Individuals with higher lean body mass handle carbs more efficiently than others that have a lack of lean muscle. When people do these drugs and these procedures, it robs you of your lean muscle mass. That's why they call it the Ozempic face. That's why your body fat, every person within this last 8 months that have told me they're on this drug, when they do our numbers and our measurements, we take their body fat percentage, they always still have a high amount of body fat, even though they've lost 50 to 70 pounds. Why is that? Because they lost a lot of muscle mass and they feel it. That's not the right way of doing things. We want to improve lean muscle. We want to regulate blood sugar levels effectively so you're not insulin resistant. We want to allow your body's blood pressure to go down so you're not dependent on drugs to basically blood pressure medication to bring it down. This is a disruptor of many different industries. Having lean muscle mass disrupts every single foundation of medicine that's out there. All the medicine out there is designed to keep you dependent on a medication because the medication doesn't cure you. They say it doesn't cure you. The medication is simply a band-aid on a leaky faucet. We want lean muscle, guys. We want lean muscle mass. Lean muscle mass is protective of your entire body. Lean muscle mass protects your metabolic health. 1 pound of lean muscle burns 50 calories at rest, and it takes 4 to 6 weeks to develop 1 pound of lean muscle. So 10 pounds of lean muscle burns 500 calories at rest. And it takes 10 to 12 months to create 10 pounds of lean muscle. Many of you need about 40 pounds of lean muscle mass on your body. One good thing about lean muscle too, besides its insulin sensitivity, it protects you against that. It also protects you against age-related hormonal decline. Many of you men that are getting up there in age and can't salute, it works on that. It protects against stress, induced metabolic damage. Now, let's talk about blood sugar balance in practical terms, right? So, stable blood sugar creates stable energy, and stable energy creates a stable mood. Ladies, a stable mood supports better decisions, and better decisions reinforce long-term results. I'm going to say that again. Having a stable blood sugar will create stable energy for you throughout the day so you don't have to depend on coffee. Stable energy creates stable moods, and stable mood supports better decisions, and your better decisions reinforce long-term results. So blood sugar stability is influenced by the right kind of macronutrients. Best type of meal timing that you plan. I typically like to eat between 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, I'm sorry. I like to sleep at a specific time and wake up trying to get at least 7 hours in. I'm trying to bring my stress levels down. Right? trying to stay hydrated with real fruits, because water does not keep you hydrated. Fruits do keep you hydrated. Argue me on that. Lean muscle mass basically allows you and it allows your body to build an anchor and create modified plans so that your body doesn't go into fat storage mode. Eating in a structured window time rather than grazing throughout the day because your job doesn't allow you to think and you're just working, and then you're just, oh, eat this here, eat that there. You got to plan. You got to let your people know, like, this is my life. And I have to be structured. And I will not go without this for this long. You got to put your foot down. Because at the end of the day, as much as you put into this job, it will kill you if you do not stay disciplined. And when it kills you, guess what? They're going to find somebody else. They're going to hire another applicant that's going to fill your place easily. So understand that you need to put yourself first. Put that oxygen mask on before you try to help others put it on. Now, let's talk a little bit about that hydration, just a little bit, right? Hydration, real hydration, influences blood volume and glucose transport. Sleep influences insulin sensitivity the next day. So everything connects. My busy professionals, my supreme warriors, often attempt to fix fatigue with caffeine. I'm sorry, I'm just attacking caffeine left and right. Right? I'm attacking that coffee because it's acidic. It's not alkaline. Right? Fatigue cannot be fixed with caffeine. I mean coffee. It can't be fixed with quick carbohydrates. And it can't fix mood with stimulation. That approach compounds dysregulation because over time your body will catch up and it will crash. The correction that we're looking for is structural, not motivational. So, hormones respond to structure. They respond to consistent sleep. They respond to resistance training and strength training. Right? The difference between resistance is like doing squats, doing push-ups, doing calisthenics. Right? Strength training is picking up weights and building up muscle and pumping up iron. Right? Your hormones has to respond to your protein in a positive way. Meaning you have to give your body enough protein, but don't go overboard with the protein. Your body and your hormones respond to protein. It responds to reduce grazing and it responds to stress management. This is why exercise alone is not enough. This is why cardio without muscle stimulus does not provide the same benefit as resistance training. A lot of doctors tell you to just walk, but there's no lean muscle mass building when you're just walking. This does not anything. Muscle is an organ of longevity. Muscle is the organ of metabolic health. There's studies that prove that lean muscle mass reduces your risk of cancer because it kills most things. It burns calories at rest. So if you want to sustain energy, your hunger, control, a stable mood, and improve your body composition, build up lean muscle. But you have to do it in a way where you are constantly growing. That means when you are with us, you're constantly going up in weight. You're not just there going through the motion, because a lot of people do that. They go deep through the motion. So now what we have to do is we have to design a weekly structure that protects hormone balance rather than disrupting it. So we have to work on setting time for ourselves first and foremost. We're not setting enough time for ourselves throughout the day. So we're not structured. So there's 5 different things to get structured that many of us are not structured with. Why are we not structured? We're not structured because we don't have a way to reset our bodies. I um I we have the Supreme Body Reset, which is the 15 days. We also have the 3-day fast as well. But I got into a car accident, little fender bender, where this guy ran a stop sign and tried to take me out. I hurt my back, so I've been going through physical therapy and things like that. And we were able to see, like, okay, we got L4, L5. These are things that I need to work around. But it killed my motivation in a way that is never done before, because every time I was working out, I was hurting myself. So I had to get adjusted to this new norm and work around it. So what I had to do was I had to figure out how I can bring back my normal habits, because I started to have bad habits, especially during during holidays. I just now just kind of got back into the motion of it. So one of the biggest things that I had to work on, that I'm going to tell you have to work on, is your sleep. There's no consistent bedtime or wake up time, right? If your screens, your phones are up while you're watching TV, you're on your phone, high levels of cortisol all day. Your cortisol levels will stay elevated. Your cortisol levels are high throughout the day, and it's supposed to go down, but it never goes down, because you don't allow yourself any time to actually just unplug from the world. I challenge you to put your phone in the other room and just lay down. I put a sleep mask on myself so I can just get real deep sleep. When your cortisol levels stay high, your recovery is incomplete. Even if you had a great workout, you can still mess it up by having high levels of cortisol. When your sleep is inconsistent, your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, shift the day. Your insulin sensitivity decreases and your cravings increase. That alone disrupts everything. The next thing is your meal timing. Many of you are skipping your meals and overeating later on throughout the day. You're snacking all day. We got to stop doing that. We're going to get the right type of meals, because on Sunday, you're going to prep your meals. You're going to go on the app that we have, and you're going to make your meals possible. And you're going to follow it. And you're going to do this consistently for the next 60 days, because we only want small wins. We got nothing going on between now and the summertime. All we have is the ability right now to get ourselves right for June. The third is protein intake. We have protein powder. You go right on our website, mylifetrainers.com, and you will find it. You will get that right type of protein that you can have the last meal of the day, which is a shake. You can do chocolate, or you can do vanilla. Many of us have sweet tooths and don't understand. Most people are under eating protein. You got to put the protein back in your body. Many of you are under training your muscles. You're not getting enough protein and you're under training because you're working out and you're not elevating to the next level. So without consistent strength training, your insulin sensitivity also declines. And this is why when you step on the scale, you no longer see the results. And your body fat constantly goes up and down, up and down. And the body becomes more efficient at storing rather than utilizing the nutrition, the nutrients. Muscle is a regulator. Without it, hormones become less efficient. Stress management. Forget that job. Forget everything and focus on you. There is no deliberate decompression. Work stress blends into home stress. Cortisol remains chronic, right? And you stay in an elevated state of cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, but you need that hormone. But too much of that hormone stores fat, messes up your quality, messes up your blood sugar levels, and sometimes even your thyroid function over time. The last thing is gut health. Processed foods, inconsistent hydration, not water, but real hydration from fruits, and erratic patterns create inflammation in your digestive system. The gut influences insulin sensitivity, inflammation levels, and even neurotransmitter productions. When your gut is irritated, hormonal communication becomes impaired. Your body stops producing. This is why we're not structured, because we do not have a reset point. A lot of you guys are not practicing it. You move from month to month without recalibration. There is no period, and you're telling me, oh, Mark, I'm in pain. I'm constantly this, and I'm dealing with chronic illnesses and this. We got so much going on for my doctors, and you can barely work out because these things are hurting you. There's no recalibration, meaning there's no time where you can reset, no period where intentionally you're able to sleep good, your meals are good, your training's good, your hydration and your stress levels are all aligned. All of this is created and why we created the 15-day body reset. Once you know it, you got it. You can do it anywhere. It's free. You're fasting. The 15-day reset, supreme body reset. It's not about punishment. It's not about starvation. It's about restoring your rhythm. For 15 days, we bring back structure, sleep, and eventually you get back into your routine and you start eating good meals with good protein. There's elimination of grazing so insulin can stabilize. When you fast, your body is stabilized. And your body will prioritize your lean muscle mass and it will protect your lean muscle. During this time, especially on the fourth day, when you're doing the 15-day fast, you are drinking your fruits. That's total hydration. In those 15 days, your body will recalibrate. Your cortisol level becomes normalized with better sleep, And this is what helps reduce chaos. Your insulin sensitivity improves with structured meals and muscle growth. And that's what we want. 15 days. That's how it starts. Supreme body reset. Gut health. Proper and healthy gut environment. This will improve your health. This will reduce inflammation all over. I had a guy that was a foreman at a plant. He came to our Sioux location. He had gout, which feels like your feet is stepping on glass. That's a good way of explaining it. It's inflammation, the crystals. We got him on a fasting journey. He never had a case of gout again, to my knowledge. So, the 15-day Supreme Body Reset is a tool that restores structure. You guys have to follow the structure properly, and that's how you get